Did anyone go out that had back of grids?
Jonathan Watts had a back off grid.
Yeah, Jonathan Watts.
Oh my god. I have a bog because I didn't race, so I do not.
I can't be
What?
arsed. I can't be arsed. He's got a back of grid and he's on polygon.
Who is 11th? Max can go out then.
This time we're in America for round 11, and as you saw just then there was a bit of confusion with qualifying. Basically what happened is someone had a back grid and decided to go out in Q1, but because I'd only just got eliminated by being in P11, I was able to go out instead. My Q2 was cut by about a minute because that's how long it took us to realise, but honestly it didn't really make too much of a difference. The softest tyre compound for this weekend was the Ultra Softs, but I'm actually using the Super Softs to qualify, since I realised better tyre wear was probably worth more than just a few more places on the grid. That strategy actually ended up paying off because I was able to qualify 7th, that turned into 6th though with grid penalties. Sorry, do you mind? Here we are then, on the grid for 39 laps of Kota. This time I actually remembered my launch control button, however as we set off for some reason I engaged the pit limiter. I turned it off before it actually became an issue, but as you can see, Noah seems to brake early for the first turn, and he ends up spinning out Mac. If we use Mac as a reference point going into turn 1, we can see that we actually brake at around the same time, but Noah appears to brake extremely early for turn 1. It sort of forces my hand to dive down the inside, but I'm not looking to overtake, though I am trying to slow down to give Noah enough room. Noah sees me going down the inside and tries to give me enough space, but in the process doesn't allow Mac to turn left for the hairpin. Now I'm sure there won't be any controversy with deciding who's at fault here.
I think Kieran may have taken you out. Not Kieran, fucking Max.
With the Vulcan facing the opposite way and all the cars behind having to go around the outside, this means I'm actually up into 4th position. A lap later now and I've sort of fallen off from the top 3. Evan, however, is sizing up a move into the braking zone. I'm not just going to take it sitting down this time though, I'm going to play a game of 8th dimensional chess and hold it round the outside. That gives me the inside line for the next corner, and I've held P4. I'm not so lucky next lap with Sam though, as DRS is now in play. Final corner of lap 3 now, and this time it's Evan's turn to go down the inside. I'm left riding the curb, which gives Noah a run on me.
I feel a crash coming about 6.7 seconds.
I'm very much aware of what happened last time between me and Noah at Spa, so this time I take extra care so as not to make contact with him. That drops us down to 7th, but you know, we're still in touching distance of the next 2 or 3 positions, so if we just keep our heads down and try not to make any mistakes, that hopefully should bring us further forward. On the back straight of lap 4 now, and well, this happens. So we're now down to 10th, and we're following Alpha, who's just gone wide. That means I don't get DRS because the activation line is just there. But everyone around me does, specifically Tom Lamberts, who doesn't quite get close enough to overtake, but I still give him enough room on the inside of the corner. Up ahead, Noah's off track at the penultimate corner. That means we're up to 8th. On the start-finish straight though, that position is under threat from Tom. Going into turn 1, he outbrakes himself and I'm able to make a cutback move to go around the outside of turn 2. I feel like this is the raciest I've been all season, which is weird because Kota isn't a track I'm too fond of. All the corners feel slightly too tight and there's a lot of off-camber blind apexes. On lap 5, Tom makes a move down the inside. I'm lucky I didn't try to hang it around the outside this time because he left absolutely no room on exit. Skipping forward a lap later and it's my turn for a DRS overtake this time. I look up both front tyres in the process, but I just don't care. I need to make an effort to gain positions and not just sit around waiting for cars ahead to make mistakes. I am going to get points this race. There's 2 cars in the pits at the start of lap 8, that moves us up to 6 temporarily, but Tom overtakes me down the inside. Later on in the lap though, we're in DRS of Tom once again. We're clearing before the braking zone, and that's us back into P6. This battle's still going on though as Tom goes up the inside at turn 1. Once again I try the switchback, but I just haven't got the run this time and the tyres are starting to die at this point. At the end of lap 9 then, and we come in for our first pit stop. Just look at how close together that pack of cars is. What we could really do with now is a good pit stop, because that train is the difference between about 5th and getting no points at all, so we really need it. Oh, for God's sake. I lost about 5 or 6 seconds because of that, which funnily enough is the exact gap to the pack ahead. So instead of getting DRS and starting to battle for decent points, instead I'm defending P12 from Noah. Midway through lap 12 and I'm having to deploy my 8th dimensional chess tactics to stay ahead. At the same time I'm trying to look after the tyres since some of the guys are talking about doing the 1 stop, and I've got about 26 more laps to do on these softs. Next lap then, I'll let Noah pass to see if he can reduce the gap to the cars ahead. Meanwhile, I can sit in the slipstream and stay in mix 5 to offset the lap time deficit from saving the tyres. Approaching the first corner on lap 15 though, and I get a screen freeze as I go to brake. That unsettles me a bit and I have to catch the rear. 4 laps later, the tyres aren't doing great and Alfie's looking for a move down the inside. The front tyres are feeling really poor at this point, so I decide to go on another set of softs, what should be my final stint. The rears are fine, but the fronts are pretty much on life support at this point. I've got plenty of fuel, a bit of nose cone damage, and a lot of diffuser damage. And I'm in the familiar territory of about a 26-second gap surrounding me. That means at the penultimate corner, when I brake on the outside curb and spin off track, it doesn't really make any noticeable difference. We've now got 15 seconds either side, but at the end of lap 24, Alfie comes into the pits, and we're now up to P11. For a few laps, Alfie stays behind until lap 28 when he has DRS and is able to get the move done. I've got DRS next lap though, but Alfie appears to brake early, which forces me to take avoiding action on the curb. At this point I feel like I'm being held up a bit, and this battle is making the difference between getting points or not, as we get very close here. Next lap, Scott's joined the party as we almost go 3 wide into the braking zone, but there's just not enough room for me on the outside. I try and follow Scott in overtaking Alfie, but instead we make contact, and this is where I make a strategy call that could make the difference between me getting points or not. Okay, so there's 9 laps left, and if we stay out, both me and Alfie will have dead tyres by the end of the race. What I'm thinking is that I could use the super softs to either claw back time on fresher tyres, or if Alfie pits, get a huge undercut on him. Both scenarios could mean I can get past him and potentially move up into the points. I come out of the pits with a 20-second gap to Alfie ahead, and with a safe gap of about 17 seconds to Liam behind. So I've held position, but now I'm on fresh super softs. Just 1 lap later and I've already gained about 4 seconds. Next lap the gap's 13 seconds, then 10, then 7, then 5, then 3, and now 2, and Alfie is in sight with 2 laps to go. He hasn't pitted, but his tyres must be down to the carcass at this point. We're about to come onto the final lap now, and it's my final chance to see if this strategy paid off. Macca's had to come into the pit, so this is once again a fight for the points, just like it was in Turkey. I'm going to leave you with this battle now, because honestly, the best parts of my videos are the bits where I'm not talking. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to overtake him on track. However, it turns out he wasn't running the mandatory anti-cheat software. That means Alfie gets disqualified from the race, and that means I got a point.
Brandon, you have so much IQ and you couldn't get maths right. You couldn't time. You couldn't get timing right.
Because I did my.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking of an excuse.
He's getting a software upgrade for next season.
It was fine on your machine, yeah?
Fucking cyborg.